Hey, everybody, welcome back to another amazing show with Real Estate Uncensored. My name is Greg McDaniel. I have my tried and true ride and die buddy, Mr. Gene Volpe here. We have Carrie with us. She is going to drop hammer on you guys when it comes to a lot of amazing information. But I first have to introduce Gene.
Yeah, you
Gene,
do.
what's going on, man? It's a Friday. What are you doing?
I was going to say Matt Johnson got markedly prettier when I first got on here, and then I realized it was Carrie. So, where's my guy? No, listen, it's I'm excited about the weekend. I'm looking at my calendar and I can't figure out what's wrong because for the first time in about 19 years, I don't have much going on, and I'm loving every second of it. I love it.
Isn't that great?
It's great, but also it's also unsettling. You know that, like when you feel like you should be doing something, and you're like, wait, I know I'm missing something, and you're going to get the phone call like you were supposed to be at your wedding. Where are you? You know?
Oh, shit! That was today.
That's what on my calendar.
Damn it! I missed that one again.
I'm split down the middle, right? It's a conundrum. I'm happy that it's happening, but I know something's going to blow up in my face. So.
You know what? I love how pessimistic
wow.
you are. Yeah, I know. Shut up.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to this episode on my earphones just so I can get that in my ears. Whatever you just did.
Yeah, you're not going to want to do that. Anyways, Carrie, welcome to the show. We're so thankful for you to be here. Guys, this woman is incredible. She's a 23-year coach. She's got incredible knowledge between her ears and that thing called a brain. And we're gonna dig that out, and we're gonna do a 35 to 40-minute show today, and we're gonna drop hammer. So, Carrie, welcome. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. I needed the laugh this morning. So it's morning. I'm in Pacific as well. So I think, Greg, you are too.
I am.
I'm still drinking coffee. It's 11 o'clock. So I am, yes, I've been an entrepreneur for over half my life now. So that's exciting. I thought of that the other day. That was an interesting thought that entered my brain. So I had a birthday and I was like, oh, I've now been in real estate 23 years, which is over half my life. But, being an entrepreneur for that long has brought some lots of learning opportunities, lots of growth opportunities, and both in business and life. And so I'm really passionate about helping entrepreneurs, primarily in the real estate industry, because that's where I've been for all these years, to have a better life and a better business, and to figure out why they don't do the things they know how to do. And that's really, a lot about my holistic coaching and the leadership of those that I lead across the country, really where the impetus of, I guess, my passion lies. And mostly it does because I've had a lot of ups and downs in my personal life going through this entrepreneurship journey. It's not always easy to balance or integrate work and life. It's not always easy to feel like you're successful in both areas, particularly if you've got other obligations besides your, real estate business or your other business that you're building. And so I feel like with having had all the ups and downs and the growth and the failures and the successes, that it's my opportunity to pay it forward to people and hopefully help them avoid some of those mistakes that I did or I have, and also just to maybe leapfrog over some of the challenges that they're facing a bit faster because I can resonate and help them through it just from my personal experience. So today, I hope I can bring some of that knowledge to those watching. And even if it's just one thing, that they take away, can make their life or their business better. That's what I hope. So
let's talk about ups and downs in life. Not to get personal, but I mean,
I'm okay with that.
It can be personal. It can be professional. It can be, everything else mixed together. In your coaching experiences, what has been something that you've seen on a consistent basis? I'm very open about this. I went down to $35 to my name. I lost both my cars, both my houses. I lost my girlfriend because she told me that I did not make enough money for her. Ironically, she got married to an attorney and then got divorced, and now she's out on the dating market with another friend of mine. And so it's interesting. People view things, in my perspective, and obviously give me your opinion on this, Carrie. When you have the ups and you have the downs, how do you deal with that? Because it can be devastating for some people.
Yeah. So it is devastating for people. So when you go through challenges, you put your head down, you figure out how to get through it. Most people do, and you figure out how to get on the other side. One of the biggest things that I notice as people come to me in coaching is they have a hard time letting go of those, what they would perceive as failures. They have a hard time letting go of those challenges, meaning I went through this. I never want to go through that again. I never want to only have $35 to my name. I never want to disappoint my family. I never want to, my team up and left me. Everybody left. I had to restart. I felt completely, devastated. My ego was crushed. I never want to go through that again. And so the problem with this is it's this idea of failing forward that people say all the time they want to fail forward, but then they actually fail and they don't move forward. They actually stay stuck and they don't push themselves to the next level because they don't want to go through that again. By the way, that's a subconscious thought pattern. That's not a conscious thought. Consciously, if we were conscious, we would go, okay, I know more than I knew before. I know the mistakes I made. I won't make them again. And I can use this knowledge to go be better. That's what we know consciously. However, our subconscious mind, primarily our ego, the ego part of our mind, is going to say, don't go there. Don't try it. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Do you remember how bad that sucked? Don't do it again. And it is one of the biggest things that will hold people back and not allow them to reach their fullest potential. I'm very candid about my personal experiences as well. And I do that because I believe that if I share it, it's going to help somebody else. And so there was a time where I was embarrassed to share my story, which is I was a complete workaholic. I made a ton of money. I was raising 2 boys. I felt very ashamed of, the limited time I spent with my kids. I had a failing marriage. I had a ton of debt. I was very unfulfilled. Personally, I wasn't happy. I was successful. I felt good about myself when I went to work, but from an overarching perspective as a human being, I was very unfulfilled and very unhappy. And I didn't feel good about myself holistically. I didn't take care of myself. I always felt guilty when I was at work because I wasn't with my kids and vice versa. And at the end of the day, I just kept going back to more work because that's where I actually felt good about myself. But then it actually made the other things worse. And even though I made a ton of money, I spent it all because those were the things I was doing to try to make myself feel happy. Those fleeting moments of happiness when I'd go buy the shoes or honestly, it was just a very, very bad cycle. And much of it was completely subconscious. Like I didn't really realize what I was doing and why I was doing it. I was just going through these motions until one day I just looked at myself and said, you can't live like this anymore. And I blamed real estate, by the way. Had nothing to do with real estate. It had everything to do with me. But that's a common thing. And so, at 43 years of age, I found myself in a very different place than I was, 6 years prior, which was I made conscious decisions to start taking care of myself, loving and leading myself first, taking more present moments with my family and my work, setting boundaries, knowing that I could actually do both if I was intentional and purposeful about it. It was a decision. I had the choice. I just wasn't making the choice before. And I found my new significant other, who now I've been married to. Honestly, I never thought I'd get married again because I just didn't think I'd be a good wife. And it wasn't about not being able to be a good wife. It was about taking care of myself and getting myself right first to be able to find somebody that, I could spend my life with. And we became debt free. He helped me do that. We did that as a team at 43 years of age. And I've made a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not afraid to share that with people because every time I do, somebody says, that resonates with me. I understand you. I'm in that mode, or I've gone through that. How do you get out of that mode? And I'll tell you how you get out of that mode. Number one, I don't beat myself up for that failure anymore because it doesn't serve me. Why? What's it going to do if I continue to live in that space? It will do nothing except for hold me back in being the best version of myself moving forward to be better for other people. So number one, it's like in AA, they say secrets keep you sick. It's the same thing in life. If you have something that you're ashamed of, a failure or something that happened or a way that you lived your life or whatever, if you continue to keep it a secret, it will continue to hold you back because you will never feel worthy of being better and you can't share your story out to help others. And when you empower yourself to go, you know what? I don't feel bad about that anymore. In fact, I feel bad for the person I was then, but I'm going to utilize that to empower me to make sure that I do not go back there again and that I actually continue to make my relationships with my kids stronger now, my health better now, my mindset better now, my financial wherewithal better now. Like this is like it happened for a reason. and it was for a purpose. And now I get to go be better because of it. It holds me accountable to making myself be better because of it too. And it no longer stops me from trying. Because here's the thing, again, if I would have been stuck on feeling guilty, it would hold me back from being able to actually fail forward, right? Now I actually am making moves to be better because I've decided that. Remember, what has happened in your past is not nearly as important as how you remember it. And the other power is you can remember your past however you want to. You choose.
Okay. So something you said there, it really resonated with me. It's the whole fact of like a lot of us, we all punish ourselves for our past, but it's your past. That's why the rearview mirror is much smaller than the, the window shield, right?
Yeah.
And I fuck, man, I'm going to go back and watch this and rewrite some of the stuff you just said down there right now, because that's some great stuff. I mean, I think Gene could really use some of this stuff in his life. I mean, his head is so bald. It's not even kidding. It's not even a joke.
I don't think anything she said can help me with my hair loss.
That's the past. We can't do anything about that, you guys.
No. And by the way, I'm perfectly okay with it. I've left those demons way in my past. I'm not worried about that. I'm not that guy. Look, if you just did a close up of me, look at how gray that beard is. There's no dye in that thing, man.
Love it.
Oh, motherfucker, you want to talk about beards and gray? Oh, let's talk
I
about
got gray here,
neck gray.
It's covered up with the blonde. So here's the reality: self-sabotage. Greg, you said it. We beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
We say out loud, we're going to fail forward. We're business owners. Yeah. But we don't fail forward. We beat ourselves up for any failure, and it holds us back from actually moving forward. So the number one thing is you have to realize that your past only has power over you if you let it. And if you keep the secret, it'll keep you sick. And if you don't, you're going to share it with somebody else who's going to benefit from it. You're going to live out your purpose because it happened for a reason. And now it will be holding you accountable to never going back there. It's going to make you better if you allow it. And it's a choice. I tell people we have a freedom of choice as a human being, and there's so many choices. I think the number one thing is we have the choice to live our lives and make decisions on how we remember things, how we think about things, how we perceive things. So we can either let our subconscious mind do that, which is not going to be probably a great way to do it because it's not going to serve us, because our subconscious mind is the one that holds us back, that says, don't do that again. You suck because that happened. You're going to just get yourself into debt again. All the things that the subconscious mind does, it does it because it's trying to protect you, by the way.
True.
The subconscious mind was created because it was to protect us. Obviously, hundreds of thousands of years ago, it was protecting us from actual physical danger. Well, thankfully, most of us are not in daily physical danger anymore. So it's evolved. Our ego part of our mind has evolved over the years to protect us from emotional discomfort and pain and danger. And so it's going to just try to do everything it can to keep us safe, which turns into negative thoughts, because it's like, oh yeah, Greg, don't try that. You tried that one other time. It didn't work. Remember. And so it's going to take the past, project it in the future, and then make you not want to do anything. So that brings us to inactivity. And Greg, we were talking about this before. Well, why do every single realtor, if you're a realtor watching this show, I know you know what to do to sell real estate at a high level, because even if you didn't know, you could Google it, or you could go to one of the bazillion coaching and training opportunities out there right now that you could find anywhere, and you could go figure it out. You could be given a plan, a script, a CRM, leads, everything. You know what to do. You just are not doing it. You're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it?
Because it's fear-based, and a lot of people are fearful of the unknown. Once you get into the unknown, now it's the known. Now you're able to move forward because you can see the path. I go back to the Indiana Jones movie where he throws a sand into this abyss, and they change the perspective of what he's looking at, and he sees a path he can walk on. And what you're talking about when it comes to your brain and stopping stuff is your RAS.
Yes.
And when the RAS kicks in, I mean, it has to kick in because we get so much content on a daily basis that it filters it out for you so that you can actually become a functional human being. I mean, too bad Matt's not here because he's not a functional human being because he's not here hanging out with us. But we bless him with Christ and we let him go with God. It's okay. Gene, don't get upset. Don't be offended. Okay.
What the hell did you just say? That's the first time I think Jesus or God ever came into this show. What was that all about?
I don't know. I'm just making fun of Matt because he's not here.
Weird.
But I think what Carrie's saying is so powerful. And so, Carrie, what would be the first step for a real estate agent or just a human being to get over that hump? And Gene, by the way, jump in on this after Carrie.
Yep.
So, so here's what we need to know is we have to understand that about 80% of what we do, how we act, how we react, what we do or don't do, what we say, what we think is subconscious. And so I think it's important that people understand their own minds and psychology. I've always been fascinated with psychology. In fact, I was a psychology major when I went to college, but I didn't want to do any more school. So I stopped at the bachelor's. Therefore, I'm definitely not a psychologist, but I always had interest in it. And it served me well in the real estate industry, as you can imagine, and in marriage and in parenting and all the things. But I think it's really important for people to have knowledge. Just power. Right? You need to know things in order to make decisions. So if you start becoming aware and go, oh, the way I react, what I do, what I don't do, it's all subconscious. It might be fear-based. It might be limiting belief-based. It might be a whole bunch of things, emotion-based. But whatever it is, it's not you making the decision. You are actually not making the decision. And this is what people don't know. They think their thoughts are them. And I did for 10 years. I actually thought my thoughts were real things. And I acted upon my thoughts because I thought that's who I was and what I should do. And I thought I was making active choices, but I was actually not making any of my own choices at all. In fact, I was told at one point by a coach of mine that it was like the most fundamental moment in my life. So maybe it'll help somebody today, which is, hey, Carrie, when are you going to stop living your mind and start living your actual life? And it was like, wait, what? Those are two different things. And that was a defining moment for me because my stresses, my anxieties, my emotions, my fears, all of my things, my guilt, all the things, they were driving my life. They were driving my decisions or my indecisions or whatever it was, my reactions, all of them. And I thought they were really real. And then the day I realized that they are not real, they're just thoughts. They're thoughts that are coming from my subconscious mind and I can choose to listen to them or not. It changed everything in my life. And so what I would tell anyone, a human being, an entrepreneur, if you find yourself not doing the things that you know you should do, if you find yourself doing a whole bunch of things and you don't even know why you're doing them, or you just are not getting the results in your life or your business that you want, it's likely because you're not making the active choices. And today I want to let you know that you are a human being and you have the right and the ability to make a conscious decision and choice every moment of the day, but you can't do it if you're unaware of it. If you don't even know if you don't even know what you're doing right now, because it's also subconscious, you're not going to be able to make a different choice. So now that you know, now you can actually go forth and making different choices. And so I just started to make very small conscious decisions every single day over a 6-year period that completely changed my entire life and business. And so remember, you don't go from 0 to 100. You have to take baby steps. You've heard it before, go small, start small to go big. It's true. It's how you shift. It's how you course correct. You don't just all of a sudden make a quick left turn. It's little adjustments that ultimately are going to take you in a place. And so people who are entrepreneurs tend to be overachievers. They think that they need to now take what I tell them and they're going to go change their whole life and business tomorrow. And it's not true. Won't happen. So I just need people to know you're aware now and now make some slow but sure choice changes and feel empowered. Look, if you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off and you're just reacting to things and doing things that you think you're supposed to do based on what your mind is telling you, it's a very hopeless feeling. Why? Because you don't feel in control. The second you realize you have a choice, you now feel hope and empowered because you're in the driver's seat. Right?
So let's break that down for half a second. I want Gene to jump in. So when he's talking about, and when I'm looking down, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just taking notes.
Yes,
literally, I'm taking notes. When it says when you say taking control, in conscious versus subconscious. I mean, I understand the two differences on the conscious level, but taking control is a totally different topic. How would you instruct somebody who feels out of control right now to get in control? Give me one thing they can do besides, calling Gene and rubbing his bald head. I mean, that's always
That
a
could
good thing
work.
to do.
That could work too.
Yeah,
Um,
just rub it like an 8 ball. It's
yep.
fantastic.
The second thing they could do besides that, honestly, you have to pick where you feel the most out of control in your life. And you need to take control in it. So you need to make a conscious decision of what you're going to do. I think that your first domino as a human being is taking care of yourself. If you take care of yourself from a physical and mental perspective, it leaks into everything. Your business will always get better. That's the main reason your business isn't reaching its full potential. So I guess I would tell people, what does it look like in your self-care, in your own, I guess, like just loving and leading yourself first. Take control of leading yourself first. And for everybody, it's different. It could be leading themselves first in a certain habit, or it could be in their physical, being, it could be in their finances. And so usually when I coach with somebody, we talk about these different areas of life, and we ask them to rate themselves in those areas. And so the one that they might rate the lowest is the one that we probably would talk about first. So you have to just pick one thing, because it's a domino effect. And so if you pick one thing and you take control over it, you don't have to feel like you have to take control over everything. That's where we get overwhelmed and we don't do anything, right? So just pick the one thing and just be in control of it. Make a conscious choice, make an active decision, and then do it, commit to it, something very reasonable that you can commit to, and start seeing what it does to not only your self-trust, your self-esteem, and all the things that it needs. That's how you work on yourself to then, of course, make your business better, or your relationships better, or whatever it is that might be not so great. Because remember, your business cannot grow past the extent that you do as a human being. So if you're leaving yourself on the table doing nothing, well, your business is going to stay flat too. And so I just implore, like, people want to take control of their business. They think they can. It's an easy thing to take control of. I actually think they should start taking control of their personal life first, because it will absolutely leak into their business. And usually people try to do it the other way around and it doesn't work.
Huh.
That's funny you say it. I had that problem. I literally had that problem. I was 50 pounds overweight, fighting with the wife. This was years ago, and I'll give him a shout out, Eddie Fordyce. He's a coach in my neck of the woods, real estate. And, we were friends, and I sat with him at a Starbucks, and he goes, "Look, you brought me here to talk and see if I can help you, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Are you going to listen to me or no?" I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a shot." And he goes, "What do you think the most important thing is in the triangle? We got a triangle of health and fitness, your personal life, or your business?" And I said, "Business." And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because if I make money, everything else is in order." And he goes, "You got it backwards, bro." I said, "Really? What do you mean?" He goes, "Do me a favor, spend 30 days on your health and watch what happens." And I was like, "All right, I will." And I spent 30 days on my health. I eventually lost like 53 pounds. My whole relationship with my wife changed just simply because I was more proactive in doing stuff she used to beat the crap out of me about. Right. Mm-hmm. So like I used to sit around on the couch overweight, not knowing I felt like crap. And it would be a struggle for me to put up Christmas lights, and that changed. And once all that stuff changed, I realized how important that was. And I started to make more money in my business because my health was good. So it is an interesting thing. I've been a big fan of the health and fitness stuff for the last 7 or 8 years. And I'm super aware of, like yesterday, I had lunch and I felt like a bloated pig yesterday, just something I ate, and the rest of the day went downhill. It was awful. Yeah, it was awful. So I'm aware of that.
It's so interesting that you say that. And I'm so glad that you said that, because literally I have seen people's entire businesses like just explode. And the only thing that they did was start to work on their health and wellness, like literally. But like some people have gone to the extreme. Like I'm not in good shape. I need to do something drastic here. I'm a competitive person. Most of us as business owners, we're competitive, we're driven, right? But we just keep trying to do more in business. And then the more we do in business, all this other stuff gets worse. And then we're wondering, why is our business struggling? It's because all this other stuff is getting worse. And so I actually have coached many people who have gone and done races, who have, at 50 years old, done a first triathlon. They never thought they'd do it. the discipline, the focus, the intention, the confidence, the self-esteem, the self-leadership, everything that comes with doing that, even if they didn't complete it, just training for it, leaks into their relationships, leaks into their business, leaks into everything. People attract to them. They're recruiting more. They're finding more clients. People are inspired by them. They are going out with more confidence. They're feeling more attracted to their significant other, or vice versa, because they take care. Here's the thing. If you don't love yourself and take care of yourself, how are you loving and taking care of anybody else? You're not. You're just not.
The old airplane theory, right? When the mask come down, cover yourself. So wait, Carrie, I'm going to give you something right now. And wait, take me off of screenshot, Greg, because I want to see her face. No, it's good. I'm sorry. I just want to see both your reactions, really, if I'm being honest. And I think, Greg, we've talked about this before. When I was going through the whole transition, when I was thinking about, Greg, not that transition.
How is your transition going?
It's halfway done. When I was going through the transition of like running my business first, switching to health, I used to have these lunches. He's my buddy Ross, Captain Ross Stewart. He was in his late 70s. He eventually passed away, I think, in 2019. But we used to go to the Olive Garden. He liked the Olive Garden. We would sit, and I remember sitting with him, and he said to me, I was just kind of going through the thought process. I'm losing weight. I'm feeling great. Like everything's going. How's your business? It's going great. And he looked at me straight, and he goes like this: "Have you ever seen a fat lion?" And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Have you ever seen a fat lion?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "That's why they're the king of the jungle, brother." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Think about that. That makes complete sense, right? Like when you're lean and mean, what happens? You're on top of the world. Like it's crazy how
it just literally leaks into everything. I mean, think about this. So from a physiological perspective, when you move your body, it changes your mind. It changes the actual chemistry in your mind. So number one, if you're trying to build a big business, you better have focus. You better be able to be intentional. You better be able to handle stress and challenges. You better have energy, because if you don't have those things and you're trying to go to work and you're exhausted by 2 o'clock, I mean, I'm just sorry. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. People aren't attracted to people who are exhausted at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're attracted to people who are out there making things happen, but they're also attracted to people that have a good life. So here is something that people have to understand. Whether you're looking to grow your business, your real estate team, your find more clients, it doesn't matter. People are attracted to people who have a good life and a good business. They are not just attracted to people who only have a good business and money. And there is a trend that's been happening. And it happened more so and was accelerated during the pandemic. But prior to it, people were starting to get away from the material things. Like if you think about it, when I got into real estate, we were in an era where it was like, you had to keep up with the Joneses. Material things was what it was all about. People were bragging about their money. It just was what it was. This was kind of our society. As I was starting to get into like my coaching time of my business, it was moving away from that. People were starting to value time with their family, vacations, making memories. I mean, people were talking about morning routines, taking care of themselves. So there was starting to be this trend, like, what is life really all about? Because you're not going to get happiness from buying material things. Sure, you might get fleeting moments of happiness, but it will never solve your problems. In fact, it'll probably just make your relational problems worse. It'll probably just make all the problems worse. But people started to get that. Then all of a sudden the pandemic happened, the quarantine, and people were like, holy crap, now it's right in my face. I need to live a life. Life is short. I need to live life. I need to still have a good business, but I need to figure out how to integrate these things. And so what I'm telling you as people is, if you are out there, I don't care what you're doing, but just leading yourself first, being healthy, take care of yourself, seeing people see you out there picking up your kid from school, and you're taking family vacations and you're crushing business, everyone will want to work with you. And why? Because they want that and they can't figure out how to get it.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yourself, and you'll have all the business you want. You'll have all the leads you want. You'll have all the clients. You'll have all the people that want to work with you. I promise you. And by the way, you will be so much more happy and fulfilled than you've ever been.
Here's our problem. Here's the biggest challenge, right? My biggest challenge in life, not for me, because I am a total optimist. You're not going to hear me bitch and moan, right? Yeah. It's so hard to go to the gym 5 days a week and eat clean, and it's so easy to complain about yourself and your life, right? Like it's just people want the results, but don't want to put in the work a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, Carrie, in your point of view on this, why do people not want to put the work in? Are they afraid of being successful? Are they afraid of the actual work, or are they afraid of the rejection in their own mental mindset if they're like, oh, I tried to go to the gym, but I just couldn't do it for the last couple of days. So then they're defeated. I mean, where is the mind fuck that takes place right there?
Yeah. So there's a couple of them that I see. One would be people are afraid to achieve greatness because not to achieve it, but because of maintaining it. There's a lot of pressure to maintain something.
Back that up. Say that again, because that was powerful.
It's probably the number one thing. I mean, and I'm going to ask you, Gene, after this. People are not afraid to go lose 50 pounds. They're afraid to lose 50 pounds and then not be able to maintain that, because that's going to look far more worse on their ego than not doing it in the first place. People don't want to go make $1 million. They're not afraid to go make the first million. They're afraid of what it's going to take to maintain $1 million or to build it from that. Because if their family starts getting used to them making $1 million and they can't maintain it, what's going to happen? So the underlying fear is not getting there. It's maintaining it once you're there. So people will never reach their fullest potential because they're way too afraid to have the pressure of maintaining it forever. And that is because we are too over-identified with the results of our life. We believe that we are how we look. We are the role we play. We are our business. Here's the thing, you guys, we weren't called human beings, or we weren't called human doings. We're called human beings. It's not what we do in life that defines us. It's who we are. But that's the problem with that is that's not how we think. We think, what do people think about us? Will people reject us if we can't maintain it? What if we fail when we make it there? What's it going to look like? All the things that are not real. Much of those aren't real. They're just our thoughts that are making us nervous. But in reality, it's because we're so over-identified with what we do and what we accomplish in this world that we're not going to go take that big of a risk, because it could be far too detrimental to who we are. But if we just detached from all that, I'm just telling you, the most freeing thing you could do is go, I don't care what happens to my business. If I fail 17 times, I know I'll rebuild it because I've done it before. It's not who I am. I'm going to be okay no matter what. That is the magic pill. Because the reason people don't go do what they could do is because they can't let go of the attachment to it. And they can't just go there and go, I don't care what happens. I'm okay no matter what. So what if you could be okay no matter what? What would you actually go do and try to do? If even you knew it, you probably couldn't maintain it. But what a great journey would it be? And who could you bring along? And then what could it lead to next? But it wouldn't define you. That's the problem. It defines us too much. I was so over-attached to my real estate business for 10 years. It's why I overworked. It's why I made a decision to work instead of being with my kids. It's why I didn't, it's why I did everything I did, is because I was so afraid to lose it. And I needed to keep maintaining this. And it was so much my identity that I couldn't make any other decision. And I see that with entrepreneurs all the time.
I think we just became best friends. I love you. That one part of this show, Gene, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it up and push this out to the universe. That was some knowledge bomb dropping like you wouldn't believe. I mean, because I sat there, and if you guys saw my face, I was kind of like, because I've lived it. I mean, I understand it.
Me too.
I mean, it's your identity, and I'm going through something right now in my life that, like, I'm having a major shift. And my identity is shifting away from that. 22 years of work. And I'm like, who the fuck am I? Mm-hmm. And it is.
And you're you, though. And here's the thing. You did that. You aren't that. Like, that's right. The thing people have to get. You did that. That's awesome. So what do you get to go do next? Because it's still you. And so that's what people have to start getting to. It's just how we think about it, right? It's all starts here. It's all in our head. So
the 6 inches between your ears is really the biggest problem child that you guys are gonna have to face. And like what she was saying is that, like, the next thing for me is that, hey man, I might go batshit crazy. And Gene, you're gonna be involved with this, by the way.
Yay, Gene, you.
Oh, he has no idea. But I mean, I'm thinking about buying like an RV, like a big, like a Class A motor coach,
Yep.
And I'm going to wrap the thing with Real Estate Uncensored, and I'm going to hit the road. And like 2 weeks out of the month, my girlfriend will be so excited to have me out of her hair for 2 weeks. She'll be like,
When are you going again?
she's going to be like, can you give me those dates so I can pencil in times with friends? I'm like, here they are, gorgeous. But I mean, hitting the road and seriously getting out there and seeing the world and just changing life, because I think what you're saying, Carrie, is so, it's so simplistic, but it's so profound that if you just get out of your way and you just understand that life happens for you, not to you.
Yes. Oh, we are best friends. I say that all the time. It's so
Exactly. Jean, I told you that she's my new bestie.
I didn't argue.
No
So
argument.
Take the RV. You need to come up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where I am. It's beautiful here, and then we can.
You're in Coeur d'Alene? Coeur d'Alene? Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I have wanted to go to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho my entire life.
Perfect spot to bring it.
You guys have the
I've never heard of it.
Shut the fuck up.
Swear to God. No, I never heard of it.
Seriously, dude, they have this golf course.
Yeah.
They have a hole that sits in the middle of the water.
Yeah, you
It's
take a
world
boat.
renowned. Yeah. You have to take a boat out to get your ball.
Yeah.
What's the name of the course?
I don't know. It's the Coeur d'Alene Resort. It's
You were
I
like,
don't-
wow.
no. It's part of the Coeur d'Alene Resort. No, I don't golf. It's part of the Coeur d'Alene Resort. So it's the golf course that's
Awesome.
part of the resort. But yeah, so
Okay.
it's called the Floating Green. If you Google it, it's called the Floating Green. And you literally you hit the ball. I don't golf, but you hit the ball to the floating green, and then you take a boat out there to put it in, and then you take a boat back. But the scenery here is gorgeous. It's really God's country. I haven't lived here my whole life, and so I didn't know about Coeur d'Alene either, Gene, until I met my husband. So you're not alone. Where do you live, Gene?
Well, I mean, I always joke with people. I grew up in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And everybody's always like, what do you, I go, it's Philadelphia and the rest of the country. I don't know anything. When you come from Philly, Philly's the epicenter. That's it. And we didn't learn anything about, like, I didn't know Idaho was in the United States until I was 26.
Oh,
Are you fucking for real?
No, not really. No, not really.
Oh my
no.
God. I'm like, I have so
Dude,
little
if
hope
you
for
know anything about East Coast doesn't care about the rest of the planet. If you
Right.
if you live in New York City, what else is there? There's nothing else.
Probably. Well, I was in Minnesota for my whole life, and honestly, I didn't know about Coeur d'Alene. I mean, and it's not even that far away, but Coeur d'Alene is an interesting thing because it's in the Pacific Northwest. It's a small area, right? I think people on the West Coast know because we have a lot of people from California traveling here all the time because it's just a great destination area. And so I think the West Coast knows about Coeur d'Alene, and I think you get to the middle of the country and on beyond, and some people know and some people don't. So you're not alone, Gene.
All right, so let me tell you about this real quick. So
Okay.
I just looked it up. All right,
It's
the home of-
awesome, isn't it?
It's so cool looking, but this is where my head goes. So I golf, right? But I typically, when I golf, we played a couple of weeks ago. We were in an outing, and we were doubled up on each hole. There was a lot of people. It was like for charity. So the golf round was like 6.5 hours, which is the most ridiculous thing of all time. I think between me and the guy I was golfing with, we probably drank 3 cases of beer while we were golfing. So that's the 14th hole, which means I would end up in the water before the ball was in the cup. Guaranteed. That's a guarantee. Yeah.
And Carrie, don't you like how he said in the water?
In the water.
Water.
W-O-D-R, in the water.
Not water. Water.
You just have to wear your floaties, Gene. It's okay.
I can swim. I'm okay. I can swim. So, Karen, let me ask you this question. So, I think, we hear a lot of stuff from coaches and real estate and all that good stuff and success and all that good stuff, right? And I feel like everybody that is successful, this is what I'm learning. There's a couple things with people that there's always some commonalities with people that are killing the game, and you look up to them and you go, yeah, that dude's got it together, or that girl's got it together, right? A couple things that I've been studying about this entrepreneurship for a long time is a big thing is communication and availability. That's it. And then I also feel like these people also have these crazy routines, right? So talk to me about your routine or a routine that, and whatever it is, like exercise, jumping in a cold shower, reading a book, like whatever that ends up being. What does your routine look like on a regular basis, and what could you not live without?
Good question. Yes, routines matter, and I haven't always had them. The first 10 years had no routine, and that was a problem. And so for me, the morning is like sacred, and I used to not be a morning person. By the way, that also is just a limiting belief. I told myself I wasn't, so I wasn't. And so I don't get up at 4 a.m. I'm not crazy like that. I don't think you have to be in order to be successful. I get up at like 6, 5, maybe 5:50. And I go to bed a little bit earlier than I probably would like to, because I like to stay up at night. Like, these are my natural tendencies, but it doesn't mean I can't adjust and make decisions. And so, your morning routine doesn't have to start at any particular time, nor does it have to be long or short. You pick whatever's going to work for you. So for me, I've always been a very positive person. And so focusing on gratitude is something. So I write 3 things down every morning. It's just become a habit. Like, what I'm grateful for, the second I wake up, I think of that. I drink my water, get my metabolism going. And then I go get my coffee, because I love coffee. And, at that time, I just kind of have time with myself. I have my intentions for the day. I just get myself in kind of a calm state. I used to wake up very chaotic and very stressed out, because I'm a high anxiety person. And when my kids were young, it was like pure chaos. I'd wake up to chaos, and my entire day I was chaotic, and I was reacting to things, and I wasn't in control. And so one thing that I've done in my life is just put myself in control. So I don't necessarily meditate, but I just get myself really kind of calm and centered. I do that with my coffee. Sometimes it's like I'm reading a book, or I'm just kind of sitting honestly in peace. And I do that in the summer on my deck. In the winter, I do not go on my deck in Coeur d'Alene. It's cold, so I'm in my room. I have a fireplace in there. So whatever works for people. I do pray. So I might say a quick little prayer just for the day. I've kind of gotten to that habit and that routine, and that's it. It's short. And then I work out. And I haven't always done that, but, working out is critical. I have become a runner, at 40 years of age. I kind of have a little bit of a knee problem, but I did my first triathlon with my husband this past summer. These are things that stretch me. I have a lot of fears, guys. If you know anybody that has fears and phobias and anxieties, this is me. And people look at me and go, "Oh, you don't seem like that. It seems like you just take chances and you go do everything." No, I have a lot of fears and anxieties. I just don't allow them to rule my life anymore, because when I did, it wasn't good. And so I forced myself. Like, I'm terrified swimming in open water. And I did that this summer, and it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And I tell you, it leaked into everything business, because if I can do that and I can overcome that fear, I'm not afraid to call somebody on the phone. These are just things that translate. And so, of course, if I'm working out, if I'm training for something, I'm a bit competitive. So it's like, if I have a goal, I tend to work out more. Otherwise, I get a little bored. So, that I got a swimming coach, and then that kind of provided me something new to learn. And it was challenging and fun at the same time. And so those are the kinds of things I do. So my workouts ebb and flow depending upon what I'm doing at the time. And that's pretty much it. That's my routine. And then I do see my son off to school. I still have one that's in high school. That's very important to me that we have our time. And by the way, that time is 5 minutes, but it's uninterrupted. My cell phone is not with me. I'm face to face, eye to eye. I like to call that, real, present time. I love you. I hope you have a good day. What's your intention for the day? Give it your best shot. You got this. I love you. And then go. And he drives off to school. But I used to have this, I want to end this with, I think that people resonate with this. I used to have this thought that in order to be a good mom, or in order to be a good entrepreneur or business person, or in order to be a good spouse, I had to spend so much time with all of the people and doing all of the things. I had this belief that it was time. It was the amount of time. And then I realized it has nothing to do with the amount of time. It has everything to do with the present time, because I was with my kids a lot. When I sold real estate, I would sit at the park with them for 2 hours, but guess what I was doing? I was sitting on the phone, and they were playing at the park. But I felt better about myself because I was with them. And then one day I realized I'm not with them at all. Well, sure, if they got hurt, I was here to help them, but am I actually building any sort of relationship or no. So then I went, you know what? 5 minutes of time like that can fill up that bucket for them. And they were so needy of my time, and I would get so frustrated and go, why do they need my time? I was just with them for 2 hours, because I had no idea what I was doing. Then I realized I would kneel down next to them for 5 minutes, and I would be totally present and looking them in the eyes and talking to them and hearing them. And they would go play for hours and not need me again. Why was that? Because I actually was there with them. By the way, the same thing with significant others, the same thing with lead generation. You do not need to do this crap for hours. You need to get freaking focused and present and just do it with all that you've got, and you'll get the results in the relationships and in the business you need. So stop thinking it's so much time, because you're setting yourself up for failure, because you don't have all the time. And that's what everybody says to me. Oh, Carrie, can you coach me? What can I help you with? Can you give me more time? That's the first thing people say. Sorry, can't do it. And you don't need any more. That's the problem. What are you doing with the time you have, right? And so this is, again, it's all a perspective. It's all a choice, and it's all an intentionality. And if you just change these things a little bit, pretty soon you're going to realize you didn't need all the time to have the business you need. You didn't need all the time to be a good mom or a good spouse. You just needed to have focused, intentional, present time. And if you could put that in your calendar and actually stick to it, you'd be a lot happier and you'd be a lot more successful in all those areas.
You know, Carrie, I think you dropped hammer right there. And Gene, I just really wish that we could have more intentional time together, because I mean, I could be, you know, I would really cherish our relationship more if you could.
Maybe you should go on the RV together. That would be some great.
Oh, we're gonna. Oh no, I'll be there.
Oh, he will. He actually will. That's actually not a joke.
Who do you think's going to be driving the RV?
You, because I'm gonna be drinking IPAs in the back. Are you kidding me?
I'll be drinking the IPAs while I'm driving. Don't worry about it.
Oh, geez.
Shit. I got to step up my insurance policy.
I'm only kidding, kids. Don't drink and drive. I'm kidding.
No drinking and driving. That's a very, very bad habit. I mean, Gene does it only once a week. Let's do this. Let's wrap it up. Of course, I'm joking about the whole drinking and driving thing.
I appreciate you clarifying that with people. Thank you.
It's all jokes and jest. I mean, we pick on each other because we've been doing this for 5 years together.
I do drink and scooter, though.
Okay, we're going to delete that in the post edit. Okay, so let's do this. Gene, where can people get a hold of you so that they know how to take advantage of your ultra bald head and rub it for good luck like a genie and a lamp?
I don't know what taking advantage of my ultra bald head means literally, but you can get me at the Gene Volpe on Instagram or Gene J Volpe on Facebook. How about that?
Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to find your stinking logo. There it is. GVI Media. Right there. And then, Carrie, how can people get a hold of you? I mean, you are literally a wealth of knowledge. And the reason I've been so quiet is because I'm taking notes and I'm listening. I'm learning. I'm going to go back and listen to this episode because you dropped hammer like Thor. And I just love the fact that you're here with us. So where can people get into your sphere, your network? I mean, your programs. I mean, what you got, girl?
So I love to talk to anybody. It's always free. There's no obligation. Honestly, I'm just building my network of real estate professionals that want to be in business with me across the country. And I'm doing that by pouring into them and knowing that I'll have a part of somebody's life and business. And it's what I feel like my 23 years have finally brought me to. So you can have a conversation with me at no obligation or cost. Please know that people sometimes are nervous to reach out because they don't know what programs I have. I'm not a high ticket coach. It's just not who I am, but I'd love to help people because this is where I get joy. And that's what I'm choosing to do with my life at this point. So you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. Just go ahead and type in Carrie Heibel Briner or Carrie Briner. I'll still show up. I'm everywhere. And just message me. And that's the best way to reach me. Easiest way to reach me.
Perfect. And that's, by the way, all of our fellow dyslexics, that is Carrie with a C, not a K.
Yes.
And Briner is Briner. Go find her there. She's the incredible human being. She has blonde hair. And where did Gene go? Gene just leave. Dude, you're screwing up my outro when you're trying to finish up the show, man. You're killing me. But yeah, go find Carrie. Guys, follow her on everything. She's an incredible human. And if you like what you heard today, go for it. If you guys missed Matt, you can donate to the diabetes outreach. That's going to be for his 3 obese insulin suck control babies. Our hearts are out for them. And then if you guys are scared of anything, please reach out to this man. He's always scared to see himself. That's Mr. Gene Volpe. We love that guy to pieces, which, God, I love that photo. He looks so scared of himself. Okay. Gene, give me a color for the bow, and then Carrie, I'm going to ask you for a color on the bow on the show. So Gene, go.
Money green.
Money green. All right. Carrie, what's a color you want to put on the bow for the show?
Red.
Red. All right. We're going to do a hard red on that one. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for watching and listening to the show. We can't do the show without you. Literally, we cannot do it without you. So go out there and go to every place you guys watch and listen to podcasts. Give us a 5-star not a 2-star review. Highlight and hashtag Carrie and or Gene and or myself if you like the content that we're going to go out with the show today. And we're going to do a money green and a red bow on the show. So thank you guys, and until next time, peace out, ninjas. We're gone.